We have our sights adjusted to the combat thing as per the military specification. But before we get into it, if you would, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you really like the content, become a member. But anyway, back when I had a 701, all I would do was fiddle with the sights until it hit where I wanted to at the distance, say 100 yards. I've set this as per the specification with the target, did it with the L, flipped it back to the close range target. Now we're at 50 yards with my little standard diamond target. And I'm going to fire 5 rounds at the center and see exactly at 50 yards, probably should shoot high. Now the thing that confuses people, because the A2 sight is different and has 2 different size apertures. These apertures are the same size. So I don't know if the height is different for close range or what, or how close the size of the apertures are. I guess you would have to think much like a Carcano, the 38s that just have the big solid notch with no adjustment in the front sight. This is kind of like that, a combat sight, but you do have the luxury of 2 choices for use. But that's what you got to think. So let's see where we are at. I'll try to get this as close as I can. If we get some decent accuracy, if it isn't too far off, I got a whole assortment of 55 grain ammo. I'll run on one of those little 8 round target things. So let's see what our combat sight does here at 50. Get this thing. I'm going to try to do the best I can. Alright, I'm going to run down and take a look. Okay, at 50 yards, 3 of them right in a bowl. And I shake like an old man, so I had them other 2. So we're going to run a test with the 8 targets, and I'm going to test a whole bunch of ammunition with this gun. Alright, the old Vietnam thing of tapping the magazines. Well, they've made these waffle mags such an exact replica that it is hard to get the ammunition into them without tapping them down. The aluminum ones, I've never had that trouble, plus they're designed to be used with stripper clips, which kind of alleviates that, but pushing it in by hand can be a pain. Doing this accuracy test, I think it'd be easier for me just to shoot the ammo and then review the target. Okay, but you see what I'm doing from a steady rest. This is going to go slow. It's going to be boring. I'll have the target and I'll have the boxes and a description of the ammo when I'm done and go home. So we'll see how it does, and I will make a notation on any failures. First off, my reloaded ammo kind of doesn't like chambering unless you get it all the way back and let it slam forward. It'll chamber. The cartridges are not powerful enough to completely cycle the action. I fired a few of them and they go off, they'll cycle, pick one up, and then like the last one ain't got quite enough steam, and you get this weird thing where the bolt, it stays open but not all the way back. That is a sign that your ammunition is not powerful enough to make the action function. And there is no adjusting the gas port. So either the ammo works or it don't. So I'm going to run some through here, and then we'll just review what I shot, what it looks like, and if it worked or failed. Like I'm going to have to video intermittently. Ingman ammo. I went to shoot, got a light strike with the first one, and I also noticed my trigger pin is walking on me. So I may have to replace that. So let's see if we could get going again. It's a little bit colder than I thought. I don't know. Trigger pin kind of stayed. Old Army. I think I'm going to have to, yeah, I got to adjust this. So let me get that down and I'll get back with it. Okay, Old Army. Alright, some of these cartridges, you could tell they're stronger than others. They're stuff from Estonia, Triple G. And these triangular guards, my hands are cold, they slip off the damn things. Okay, gonna load up some more and get back to you. Alright, we have this American Patriot or something. It's out of Czechoslovakia. We're gonna go run this next. Okay. Next we have Men 55 grain ammo. And then Fiyoshi, and that is 5.56, 55 grain ammo. Alright, I got 3 more, so we're going to run to a second target. And I even have a 55 grain match ammo from Frontier that we'll try also. Alright, got 4 more types of ammo. I got some Frontier 223, just standard ammo. This stuff, a lot of people praise it. Some guns it works in real good, some guns it don't. So we'll give it a shot. Okay, then we got the Sterling 5.56 55 grain with the soft point bullet. I bought this by mistake, but since we got a 1 in 12 and we're testing 55, let's give it a whirl. Next up, I got some Tula steel case. I found some. So for all of those guys that like to test really expensive guns with the cheapest friggin' ammo they can find, we'll give it a whirl. But I shot up all in. Ever since the embargoes, you can't get it. And last, I picked up by mistake a box of Frontier 223 Remington 55 grain match bullets. Hollow point match bullets. The other one was a FMJ. So let's see what we get here. Alright, so let me see, that was this barrel cool. So that was 55, put about 60 rounds, 60, 70 rounds through it with the sight in. And other than the one ammo messing up, everything shot through. They don't like the reloads because they're underpowered. I tested them before I even started. They don't jam like they do in the Anderson, but the gun don't like it. Alright, we'll review the targets once I get to the house. Before we review the 55 grain ammo, the big question is, if you get a retro gun with 1 in 12, will 62 grain ammo work? The answer is no. I fired, I think, 5 or 6 rounds of 62 grain through the retro gun just to see. And if you look here, you can see where one, and the big tears where the wood from the backstop tore through. 1, 2, 3 of them hit sideways, and maybe these other ones sort of hit straight on. So no, and that was with Winchester green tip 62 grain ammo. So no, they won't work in a 1 in 12 twist. They'll be unstable. Alright, retro rifle, 20-inch barrel, 1 in 12 twist at 50 yards. We have PPU, had a group of 1.5. I don't have a box because it's bulk packed, but it's Winchester, you know, the 55 grain load, U.S. government contract, 1.5. Ingman, 55 grain, was actually 4.5 with that flyer, but discounting the flyer, 2-inch group. The Sold Army, 2 1/8 of an inch. Triple G, 2 inches, kind of stringing. The Czech ammo, this Patriot, whatever, 3-inch group. Men's, because I ran out of X-Tac, 1.5-inch group, pretty nice. And Fiocchi was a 2.5-inch group. So as you see, we have 3 of them that are tied. The men's, U.S. military load made by Winchester, and PPU, all at 1.5 inches. So pretty consistent, and you know that means when that's with iron sights also, so that will make a difference as compared to something similar that had a scope on it. I ran 3 other types, or 4, so let's take a look at those. Alright, on this target we had Frontier 55 grain, just standard 55 grain ammo, full metal jacket, 2 1/8 of an inch. This is Sterling 55 grain soft point ammo. I picked this up by mistake. 2 5/8 of an inch. Then I had some Tula steel cased 55 grain full metal jacket, 5 inches. This stuff, you know, that's why when people test this old Russian ammo, this has been laying around for a while too. I can't remember the last when I bought this. It's a very bad thing for these guys to put in a test gun. And this is Frontier 55 grain hollow point match, and we got 3 inches with that. Could have been flyers or whatever. So the other page had the ammo that was good. This stuff here didn't work too well. The Frontier ammo, it could be because this stuff is new and designed for guns. You don't find chrome lined bores that often, which this rifle has. Most of them are nitrided, and there probably is a difference. Alright guys, that's it for this testing. We may run some more ammo and see if we can get better results, different brands.